A story about a man who killed his wife, a man who buried her in his own backyard, a man who thought he was smart enough to get away with murder. He was wrong, and he was very wrong, because the dead don't stay dead forever. And that woman, she came back to haunt him, but not as a ghost. It is worse, she came back as a whisper, a scratch, and a smell that wouldn't go away. Sit back, relax, and listen carefully. Let me take you back to the beginning, back to when Emeka and Amara first met. It was 2015. Emeka was 35 years old and he was already a big man in Ibadan. He had 3 Danfo buses, a shop in the market, and a house he built with his own money. His friends called him Oga Emeka. People respected him because he was hardworking, but people also feared him because he had a short temper. Amara was 28. She was a teacher at a primary school in the area. She was the kind of woman that made people smile when they saw her. She was soft-spoken, gentle, and always dressed in beautiful wrappers and blouses. She had a small laugh that made everybody around her feel happy. They met at a church harvest. Emeka saw her across the hall and he said to his friend, "That woman there, she will be my wife." He started coming to our school. He would wait for her after class. He would buy her gifts, lace materials, gold earrings, even a small generator for her room. He was persistent and he was charming. He told her everything she wanted to hear. Amara was not sure at first. She had heard rumors about Emeka, that he beat his first girlfriend, that he had a bad temper. She told her mother about her fears, but her mother said, "My daughter, every man has his flaws. He has money, he has a house, he can take care of you. Don't let a good man pass you by." So Amara agreed. They got married in a small ceremony. Her family came from the village. His family came from Lagos. They ate, they drank, and everyone was happy. Everyone said it was a perfect match. But that perfect match was about to become a nightmare. At first, the marriage was good. Emeka was loving. He provided for Amara. He paid her younger sister's school fees. He bought her a new phone. He took her to the village to see her parents. But slowly, Emeka's true nature started to show. He was a jealous man, very jealous. If Amara talked to the male shopkeeper down the road, Emeka would accuse her. "Why are you smiling at him? Do you know him? Are you sleeping with him?" He would shout. He would grab her arm roughly. She would beg him to stop. "Emeka, please, people are watching. You will disgrace me." Then came the eating. The first time, it was a slap. Amara had burned his yam. He was so angry. "You useless woman," he screamed. "You can't even cook my yam properly." And he slapped her across the face. She fell to the floor. She cried. He apologized later. He said he was sorry. He bought her a new dress. He promised it would never happen again. But it did happen again, and each time the beating got worse. Each time it took longer for the bruises to heal. Amara started wearing long sleeves to school. She started wearing scarves on her head to cover her cuts. Her colleagues would ask, "Amara, are you sick? Why are you always covering your face?" She would lie. She would say it was malaria. She would say she had an accident. She was too ashamed to tell the truth. She thought about leaving many times. She thought about packing her things and going back to her village. But every time she thought about it, she remembered what her mother had said. "Marriage is patience, my daughter. Endure. Your husband will change." She remembered what the pastor said. A wife must submit to her husband. God will reward your suffering. And so Amara stayed. She stayed because in this country, what will people say? She stayed because divorce brings shame to the family. She stayed because she had nowhere else to go. She stayed until the night Emeka killed her. That night was like any other night. Emeka came home late from his workshop. He had been drinking with his drivers, Efe, Chidi, and the others. They had gone to a beer parlor after work. Emeka was drunk. He was staggering and he was very angry. Why was he angry? Because one of his bosses had broken down on the road to Lagos. He had to spend money to fix it, 30,000 naira. That money was supposed to be his profit. Now it was gone. He walked into the house. Amara was in the kitchen. She had cooked stew, she had fried plantain, she had prepared everything, and she was trying to be a good wife. But she made one mistake. She used palm oil instead of groundnut oil. She had run out of groundnut oil. She thought palm oil would be fine. She thought Emeka would not notice. He noticed. He looked at the stew. He looked at Amara. His eyes were red and his face was twisted. "What is this rubbish?" he shouted. "What is this nonsense you have cooked? Is this what I will eat? After all the money I gave you, you cook this rubbish. You want to poison me, Abi?" Amara tried to explain. "Emeka, please, I don't have groundnut oil. I used what I had. Please just eat. I will buy groundnut oil tomorrow." But Emeka was not listening. He grabbed the pot and threw it on the floor. Stew splashed everywhere. The plantain fell on the tiles. "You want to waste my money, Abi?" he screamed. "You want to ruin me like the boss? I will teach you a lesson." He grabbed her by her wrapper. He pulled her to the ground. He started eating her with his feet, with his boot, with anything he could find. Amara screamed. She begged, Emeka, please, I am your wife." But Emeka did not stop. He was like an animal. He was like a madman. He hit her on the head. He hit her on the ribs. He hit her until she stopped screaming. He hit her until she stopped moving. He hit her until there was nothing but silence. And then he just stood there, panting, sweating, looking down at Amara's body. Her eyes were open. Her face was covered in blood. She was not breathing. Emeka looked at her and said one thing. "You asked for it. You caused it," and walked away to wash his hands. Emeka stood in the kitchen for a long time. He was thinking. He was planning. He knew that if he reported this to the police, he would be arrested. He knew that if the family found out, they would come after him. He knew that if the neighbors saw Amara's body, there would be trouble. So he decided to hide it. He decided to bury her. He dragged her body through the house, through the sitting room, through the backyard to the guava tree. That guava tree was Amara's favorite spot. She used to sit there every morning to read her Bible and drink her tea. Now it would become a grave. He took the shovel. He started digging the ground. The ground was hard. The soil was red. It was difficult to walk. He dug for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. His hands were blistered. His back was aching. But he didn't stop, and he couldn't stop. When the hole was deep enough, he went inside and looked for something to wrap her in. He found her favorite wrapper, the blue and yellow one she loved so much. He wrapped her body in it. He carried her outside. He lowered her into the hole. "Goodbye, woman," he muttered. "You should have been a better wife." He started covering her with dirt and soil, stones and more soil. He poured water on the top to make the ground flat. He planted trees. He planted grasses. He even bought flower seeds from the market the next day and planted them on top. He did everything to make it look normal. He cleaned the house. He scrubbed the tiles. He threw away the broken pot. He burned the clothes he used to wipe the blood. He made sure there was no evidence. Then he called his younger brother. "Chidi, my brother," he said, "something has happened. Amara has left me. She packed her things and went back to the village. I don't know why. I was at work all day. I came home and she was gone. She said she's tired of the city. She said she wants to go back to the village. I tried to stop her, but she refused." Chidi believed him. Of course, he believed him. Emeka was his big brother. Emeka was successful. Emeka was respectable. Why would he lie? But Amara's spirit was not fooled. Amara's spirit was still there under the guava tree, watching and waiting. The neighbors in the area started to notice strange things. First, there was the smell, a very bad smell, like something dead. It was coming from Emeka's compound. Madam Grace lived next door. She was a market woman. She sold yam and plantain at the market. She knew everybody. She was the one who noticed that Amara had not come out of her house for days. One morning, she told her husband, "Hey, my husband, I have not seen Amara for many days. Emeka said she went to the village, but I saw her clothes still hanging outside. If she went to the village, why would she leave her clothes? Her husband, Mr. Okafor, a retired civil servant, shook his head. Maybe she left in a hurry. Maybe they had a fight. That Emeka has a bad temper, I have heard him shouting many times. But Madam Grace was not satisfied. She started asking questions. She asked Emeka directly one afternoon, "My son, where is your wife? I have not seen her. Is she okay?" Emeka was nervous. He was sweaty. He said, "Mama Grace, she went to the village. She will come back soon. She said she wants to see her mother. You know how women are." But Madam Grace noticed something behind Emeka. In his compound, the guava tree looked strange. The leaves were turning black, the fruit were falling and bursting, and the smell, that terrible smell, was coming from that tree. She did not say anything to Emeka, but she whispered to Mr. Okafor, "My husband, something is wrong, very wrong. I think that woman is not in any village. I think she is in that compound. I think Emeka has done something bad." Mr. Okafor told her not to interfere. "This is not our business." He said, "Leave Emeka alone. He is a powerful man. If you accuse him wrongly, he will come after you." But Madam Grace was not afraid. She went to the pastor of the local church. She told him her suspicions. The pastor listened carefully. He said he would visit Emeka. He would pray for the house. But inside, the pastor was also suspicious. He heard things. He knew Emeka's reputation. The pastor went to Emeka's house. He knocked. Emeka opened the door. He looked terrible. His eyes were red. His clothes were dirty. He looked like a man who had not slept in days. The pastor stepped inside immediately. He smelled it. Dirt, fresh dirt. And he saw something else on the floor. Near the back door, there were marks, stretch marks, as if someone had been clawing the door from the inside. The pastor's blood ran cold. He said, "My son, I need you to tell me the truth. Where is your wife?" Emeka became angry. "I told you, she went to the village. She left me. Stop asking me stupid questions." He pushed the pastor out and slammed the door. The pastor knew then. He knew Amara was not dead, and he knew she was in that compound, and he called the police. The police came next morning. The DPO, Superintendent Bamidele, led the team. They arrived at Emeka's compound with 5 others. They knocked on the door. Emeka opened the door. His face was pale. His hands were shaking. "Good morning, officers," he said. "What can I do for you?" Superintendent Bamidele looked at him. "We received a report that your wife is missing. We need to ask some questions." Emeka tried to act calm. "Officer, my wife went to her village. She left me. I told everybody. Ask the neighbors. They will tell you." The DPO looked around. He saw the guava tree. He saw the black leaves. He smelled the terrible smell. He walked toward the tree. Emeka became nervous. "Officer, please, there is nothing there. Please don't disturb my compound. I am a respected man in the area. I have businesses. I have people who work for me. Please, do not disgrace me." But DPO Bamidele was not impressed. He had seen many murderers. He knew when someone was lying. He said to his men, "Bring a shovel. Dig here." The police started digging. Emeka watched them. He was sweating. His legs were shaking. He started to shout, "You cannot do this. This is my house. I have rights. I will call my lawyers." But the police ignored him. They kept digging. They dug for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and the hole was getting deeper. Then one officer shouted, "Oga, I see something." They dug more carefully, and there she was, Amara, still wrapped in a blue and yellow wrapper. Her body had started to decay. Her bones were broken. Her skull was cracked, and in her hands were dumps of soil and grass. Superintendent Bamidele looked at Emeka. His face was hard. His voice was cold. "Emeka," he said, "you are under arrest for the murder of your wife, Amara. You have the right to remain silent, but anything you say will be used against you in court." Emeka fell to his knees. He started crying. He started confessing, "I killed her. I killed her. But it was an accident. She made me angry. She provoked me. Please don't kill me. Please take me to the station." They handcuffed him. They put him into the van. They drove him to the police station. Amara's body was taken to the mortuary. Her family was called. When her mother heard the news, she collapsed and had to be rushed to the hospital. Her father cried for 3 days straight. Her younger sister said, "We should have taken her away. We should have listened to her. She told us Emeka was beating her. We told her to endure. Now she is dead." The family demanded justice. The community demanded justice. Even the neighbors who had been silent came forward. They told them about the shouting, about the screams, and about the smell. Emeka's trial lasted for 4 months. The prosecutor showed the court pictures of Amara's body. He showed the court the bruises, the broken bones, the cracked skull. He showed the court the guava tree, the grave, and the wrapper. Emeka's lawyer tried to argue it was a crime of passion. He said Emeka was drunk. He said he didn't mean to kill her. He said it was manslaughter, not murder. But the judge was not convinced. He said, "You beat your wife like an animal. You buried her like a dog. You lied to everybody. You showed no remorse until you were caught. This was not an accident. This was murder." The judge sentenced Emeka to death by hanging. The house where Emeka and Amara lived is now empty. Nobody wants to live there. The windows are broken, the doors are rusted, the guava tree was cut down, but the stump remained. And they say the storm never rots. They say it stays there, black and twisted, like a hand reaching from the ground. People in the area avoid the house. Children don't play near it. Women walk past it at night. Even the Okada riders refuse to stop there. And sometimes on quiet nights, when the moon is hidden behind the clouds, the people nearby say they hear something, a small sound, coming from the grave, coming from the ground, coming from where Amara was buried. They say it is her spirit. They say she's still trying to crawl out. They say she's still crying to tell the world what happened to her. But the world already knows. Emeka confessed. Emeka was convicted. Emeka is now on death row. He would sit in his cell in Kirikiri prison, waiting for the day they will come for him. And every night in his cell, he hears the sound. He knows that sound. He will never forget the sound, because that sound is Amara, and Amara